Chowringhee by Shankar Mukherjee, adapted for radio by Roger James Elsgood.
Oh. Namaskar. Welcome to Calcutta on a sun-battered May afternoon in 1958. We are in Curzon Park, in a part of the city called Chowringhee, where I have stopped to rest my body, weary of the day's toil selling, or rather not selling, waste paper baskets. I need a proper job. But there are no proper jobs for a legal clerk in all of Calcutta. Is waste paper basket selling to be the fate ordained for the last Babu of the last English barrister of Calcutta High Court? I've approached other chambers. They're sympathetic, but they blanch at the mention of a job. I don't know where to turn.
Hello? Hello? Shankar? Is that you, Shankar?
A man with an unmistakable green briefcase in his hand is walking towards me. It's Byron. Byron, the private detective. What's he doing here? I met Byron when he came to our chambers a couple of weeks ago. I was sitting at my desk typing when a man wearing a shabby shirt and carrying a green briefcase entered.
Good morning, sir.
Shankar, pleased to meet you.
I'm Byron, private detective. I've come to let you know that I'm available for any investigation. Family or personal, whatever.
Sorry, I'm afraid we don't have anything right now.
I know. That's all right. Here's my card.
B. Byron, private detective and friend in need, telephone number. There is no telephone number.
Yeah, I don't have a telephone as yet, but I'm bound to in the future. So you see, I have left space for the number. But surely I'll get one. Eventually, I'll definitely get one. And not just a telephone, but also a car and a house and a large office.
Right. It was on the strength of this brief and bizarre acquaintance that Byron is staring at my tired body in Curzon Park.
Shankar, what's the matter? And what are you doing with all these waste paper baskets?
You will recall, Byron, the times when I basked in the love showered upon me by judge, barrister and clients alike. When I revelled in the role of the Babu, the lawyer's clerk. The kindness and benevolence of my English employer was like an oasis, helping me to forget my past, leading me to believe that this good life would last forever. The Englishman died, and I was asked to leave. So, now I must hitch my battered and bruised mind to the exhausted wagon of my body and start my journey afresh. I am a waste paper basketballer now.
Good.
Good? What do you mean good?
Do you have a suit?
Yes, at home.
Then there's nothing to worry about. It's all God's will.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Byron.
You will, all in good time. Just come back here in an hour. Ask questions later. Hurry up now, Shankar.
It's an hour later. Dusk is falling. I'm back in Curzon Park in my suit. And I still have several unanswered questions. In the glare of the neon street lights, Curzon Park looks like an altogether different place. Byron is sitting under a statue, his dark form merging into the night so that his white trousers and shirt seemed to be draped over a phantom. Byron?
There you are, Shankar. I must have smoked at least 10 cigarettes since you left. And with each puff, I could not help thinking that all of this has turned out for the best. For you as well as for me. Look. There you see. That's Shah Jahan Hotel. A job for you there is guaranteed.
A job? Guaranteed? How can you be so sure?
Because I am on an important case for the manager, Mr. Marco Polo.
That's a most unusual name.
It's a long story. Come, let's go. Come.
Well, I should tell you that the Shah Jahan Hotel isn't so much a building as a small town. Even building isn't the right word. Palace would be more like it. I'm following Byron into a huge lift.
Second floor.
Sahib, second floor.
And now, out of it. And we have arrived before an imposing double door with a rather grumpy looking bearer.
Is Mr. Marco Polo in?
Possibly.
Tell him it's Mr. Byron.
Mr. Byron, another man wants to see you, sir.
Oh, all right, tell him to come in.
Mr. Marco Polo says, come in.
Thank you.
We go in.
Byron.
In front of me
Drink.
is the all-in-all of Shah Jahan Hotel. He's wearing a sleeveless vest and tiny red briefs which hardly cover the essentials of his manly body.
Tea.
There's a
thank
thick
you.
gold chain round his neck with black locket with large
Thank you.
S inscribed on it. That's significant. Remember that for later.
You know, Byron.
His left arm sports a huge tattoo, as does his hairy chest, parts of which peer out from behind the vest. He looks as if he should be lounging poolside.
Well, any good news, Byron?
Not yet, sir. Calcutta is a mysterious city, Mr. Marco Polo. Much more complicated than we think.
Not yet. Then when? When?
Soon, sir. Very soon. All will be well. Believe me, sir. This is my friend Shankar. Hello, sir. A very good man. The best unemployed legal clerk in Bengal. You need to give him job in the hotel. He will be very, very useful.
I need to give him a job? What are you talking about? It's impossible. Look, we have vacant rooms, but not a vacant position.
Tomorrow you will have vacant positions, sir. Mark my words.
What do you mean?
Rosie. Your trusted secretary, Rosie, sir. She has left.
Left? What do you mean left?
Sir, she has run off to Bombay with the husband of a client. I saw them get on the train this morning.
I see. Oh, well, she'll likely be back in a day or two.
And if she does, sir, then you can easily get rid of this boy if you like.
Very well. You can start tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I have been reborn. The last clerk of the last English barrister of the Calcutta High Court is no more. My career with the law has ended for good, and I am much relieved. I'm on my way to work. My first day at the Shah Jahan Hotel.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar. I think he has mistaken me for a patron. Oh my word. The reception.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. I'm Shankar. I've got a job here. I met the manager, Mr. Marco Polo, last night, and he asked me to report today. Can I meet him now?
Why, welcome, Shankar. The Orient's oldest hotel welcomes its newest staff member. My name is Bosch, head receptionist.
Oh, hello, sir. Can I meet Mr. Marco Polo?
No need. He briefed me last night. One moment, Shankar. Good morning. Shah Jahan Hotel reception. Mr. and Mrs. Satarwala. Let me see. Room number 232. You're most welcome.
He knows who is in every room.
Now, Shankar, your first task, the breakfast cards. Type this out.
Okay.
Chill pineapple juice, cheese on toast, eggs, boiled, fried, poached, scrambled, omelette, prawn, cheese, tomato. Khejuri, smoked haddock, eggs benedict, tea and coffee.
Sorry, Bosta, I have not been able to type down even half of what you said. Khichdi and...
Don't worry. I know the list by heart. It's the same every day. I will do it.
I still haven't seen Mr. Marco Polo.
You will soon enough. Kitchen inspection is in 5 minutes.
Marco Polo. Such a romantic name.
A romantic name maybe, but he's very efficient. A perfect manager. Really? Marco Polo used to be the manager of the biggest hotel in Rangoon. Earned twice as much as here. But something brought him to Calcutta. At first we thought he may have been running away from some trouble he had got into. But apparently the Rangoon hotel kept sending requests for Marco Polo to go back. He's a bit of a mystery. Now off to kitchen inspection. You will meet him there. First left, down 2 flights of stairs.
All right.
Why hasn't this floor been cleaned? Even a pigsty is cleaner than this.
New boy. So you're here.
Good morning, Mr. Marco Polo.
Learning the ropes, I hope?
Yes, sir.
Get this kitchen spotless, do you understand? Spotless by the time I come back.
You, new boy. Come with me. What's your name?
Shankar, sir.
Come with me, Shankar. Office. I have apparently lost my secretary, Rosie. I will never find another girl like her. I had nothing to worry about in the office thanks to her. She took down and typed my letters whenever I asked her to. Even at midnight. Such a treasure. Now you will have to do them for me. I have some letters that can't be left unanswered. They have to be replied to immediately. So take this down. You do have shorthand, I trust.
Best Pitman, sir.
Dear sir, I mean madam. Further to your letter of the 13th instant, I'm happy to tell you that the member of the staff responsible for your unfortunate incident with the fan in your room.
His use of language isn't very polished, but politeness drips from every line. Writing letters is something an ex-legal clerk is used to, so this should please him. But the much-loved Rosie might reappear tomorrow, and then I will have to go back to selling waste paper baskets. I've been here a couple of days now, and I've got to know some things.
Good morning, Shankar. Quiet night?
Mostly. Thank you, Bosta.
Have you seen Marco Polo this morning?
No, not yet.
Another of his nights on the town, huh?
It would seem so. He got back around 2 in a rather bad way. The bearer told me when he got to his room, he took off his clothes one by one and flung them across his room, and then, stark nude, threw his shoes out of the window, shouting, "Send for the barman! Send for the barman!"
He's a very strange man, especially when it comes to clothes. One evening, he went out in white shorts, a pair of chappals, black socks with brown suspenders, and a white half-sleeved shirt barely buttoned, and a bamboo cane in hand.
Really?
Nobody knows where he went. Reception. Bo speaking. Yes, sir. Right away. Talk of the devil. That was Marco Polo.
Oh.
He wants to see you, Shankar.
Me?
Right away. Go.
Oh, okay.
Shankar, come in. And then close that door. Tell me, have you seen Byron recently?
No, sir. Not since the night he brought me here.
Shankar, you are a clever young fellow. You pretend to look innocent, though you know a lot.
Does he think I'm hiding something from him?
I don't quite know what you're talking about, sir.
Never mind. Okay, I want you to do something for me. I want you to go and meet Byron.
Of course, sir. What should I tell him?
There's nothing to tell him. Just let him know that I am getting impatient.
You know, Kolkata is a voracious city. Over the centuries, thousands of people have set foot in this city, cursed by history. Many arrived penniless, but went on to amass wealth and glory. They were of varying descents, spoke different languages, followed diverse customs and cultures, but all of them had the same end in view. And time assiduously swept the known and unknown, the rich and the poor, the native and the foreigner alike into the dustbin of oblivion. My stop.
Massage, sir?
Na.
Girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, college girl.
China bolchi.
Punjabi?
Na.
Anglo-Indian? Bengali? Boyfriend, sir? College boy?
Duttari. China bolchi. Until the other day, Kolkata was the second city of the empire. We are trying, though gradually the signs of British imperialism are being wiped out. Now, Byron's house should be somewhere here.
He told me to tell you that he's getting very impatient.
Poor Marco Polo. I really feel sorry for him.
What is there to feel sorry about with Marco Polo, Byron?
I should tell you a bit more about him. Make yourself comfortable. It's a long story, Shankar. Here you are. The best cup of tea.
Thank you.
Some years ago, Marco Polo went into a small nightclub on Park Street, looking for a respite from the hustle and bustle of his hotel. And one Susan Munro happened to be singing there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Munro, please stand, please. Miss Munro, excuse me, could I invite you to join me?
Why, thank you, kind sir.
Marco Polo, 2 beers, please.
Marco Polo. An unusual name.
It's a long story.
So, how did you like my set?
Marvelous. I hope they pay you well.
Dinner and 10 rupees a month.
Just 10 rupees a month? That's disgraceful.
And who knows for how much longer. There's a girl who usually sings here, Lisa. She's broken her leg, so they've got me to replace her. As soon as the doctor removes her plaster, my singing days here will be over. Oh well, such is life. Time for another song. And thanks for the beer.
Marco Polo felt sorry for Susan. She was not particularly pretty, but she had youth on her side. So after a whirlwind courtship, he made Susan his bride. Over the next couple of years, the demand for Susan's services rose. It was wartime and thousands of English and American soldiers filled Calcutta. They all wanted to go to nightclubs and listen to music.
If you keep singing in these cheap bars, you will never make it big. You have to aspire to greater heights.
Marco, these cheap bars, which once paid 10 rupees, are now begging me with 500. The bar's license used to be till 10, and there's no time limit now. I have to sing till 1 in the morning. I'm popular, Marco.
But you return home so late these days. I get worried.
Marco Polo decided to get out of town and went in search of a job. Finally, he got one with a big hotel in Karachi. He wrote to Susan.
Dear Susan, Karachi is a nice place. You're bound to like it here. The city is much more organized than Calcutta, and there's no risk of Japanese bombs.
Received your letter. I'm off on a 6-week tour to sing at American bases on special invitation. Sorry, Marco.
An entire year passed. When he came back to Calcutta, He was amazed. Military officers' cars were parked practically round the clock at Susan's house. And at a time when even tires were hard to come by, Susan also had a car.
A car? You've got a car?
Oh, sorry, Marco. I just forgot to tell you. Got it very cheap, you know. Major Shannon arranged it for me.
I have to know your future plans, Susan.
Well, I'm quitting the nightclubs and setting up here. Major Shannon has promised to get me a bar license.
Enough! It's time. It's time we divorced.
Having finalized things in Calcutta, Marco Polo went back to Karachi. Then, one day in 1946, he saw an advertisement for a manager's post in Shah Jahan Hotel. With his qualifications and credentials, the owners took him on, and he returned to Calcutta. But where was Susan? And what about the divorce? The woman who had set wartime Calcutta on fire had disappeared somewhere in the jungle of humanity.
And then?
He inquired at the attorney's office, but they refused to divulge anything. He inquired at the court. No divorce order had been issued in his name. Then I was summoned. And I'm still trying to find Susan. Tell Marco Polo not to be impatient. Something is bound to turn up soon.
As I fail to rest my head for sleep in my little room in Howrah, I can't stop wondering, where is Susan now? Is she passing her days in hardship in a dingy room in an unknown alley of the city? Or has she bid adieu to restaurants and music forever to enjoy the fruits of retirement? Surely she no longer lives at the same house. If she does, Byron would have tracked her down ages ago and solved Marco Polo's problems. Is the marital tangle unresolved? Does she ever think of the man who has sacrificed so much for her?
Good morning, Boshta.
Bosch doesn't reply because he's cradling a telephone in his left hand and taking down messages with his right.
Yes. Good morning, Shankar. Go straight to the kitchen. There is something you have to do there. Yes. This is Sata Bosch from the Shah Jahan reception. I'm afraid you can't get Korobuki Ho on the phone right now. If there is something you want me to tell her, leave a message with me. I will make sure she gets it as soon as she wakes up. ABC. What kind of a name is that?
I can't wait for that to finish. It could go on all day. I am off to the kitchen.
I'll sack you all! Do you hear me? I'll sack you all!
The sweepers are lined up, their heads bowed like they are before a firing squad.
Well? Say something! Is there? Well, why don't you speak? Have you all taken a vow to join the Gandhi party? Have you all taken a vow of silence? How can you work in a hotel through whose kitchen rats as big as crocodiles run about in daylight? Get this place cleaned up, do you hear? Right away. Do you hear me? Now, I will be back to check after lunch. Nobody leaves until this kitchen is spotless. Understand? Shankar, come with me.
Did you see Byron?
Yes, sir. I met Mr. Byron last night. He said to tell you not to lose patience.
Is that all? Patience? Was a more patient human ever brought up on earth?
Where do you live, Shankar?
Howrah, sir?
Oh, you live in Howrah?
Yes, sir. It's on the other bank of the Ganges, sir. Beyond the
I
station.
know. Well, Rosie used to live in. It suited me very well. You know, you better move in too. Cut off connections with the Howrah municipality and tomorrow bring nothing but what you need to preserve your modesty. Oh, well, of course, your toothbrush.
What are the stars conspiring for me? Are they depriving me of my home? Or are they providing me with a new one? I used to have a name of my own which I lost at the High Court. I had an address which I had managed to preserve against all odds. Now both have become redundant on the same day. I'm to move in, Bosta, tomorrow.
I know. Marco Polo just phoned me. It will be good to have you here full time.
Good evening.
Ah, good evening, sir. Suite number 1, I believe.
If you would be so kind.
There you are.
Thank you.
No Shankar. He's arrived alone and taken the best suite, which costs 250 rupees a day.
Must be very rich.
Someone else pays. You just wait and see.
Wait for what?
Wait for who, Shankar? Not for what. Mrs. Pakrashi. Mrs. Pakrashi is the widow of the late Madhav Pakrashi, one of this city's leading industrialists. Rich beyond your or my dreams. But ever since his sad demise, Mrs. Pakrashi has taken to meeting that young English gentleman here in this hotel. She comes at night on dry days, in dark classes. Heaven knows what goes on behind the doors of suite number 1.
This is embarrassing. I've carried this none too new mattress all the way from Howrah. Walk, tram, walk, another tram, walk. People in the streets have been staring at me like I'm some sort of vagrant.
Namaskar, Shankar.
Namaskar.
Are you moving in?
Yes, I am, indeed. Cheeky bugger.
Ah, the new resident returns. Bearer,
Ji sir.
take Shankar's bag and his mattress and lead us to his room. Here we are.
But we are outside, Bosta.
Welcome to the terrace, Shankar. This is where we all live, in the unseen part of Shah Jahan Hotel. Rosie's cubicle, 362. Mr. Shankar will retire.
Cubicle?
I'll see you later. Put your feet up for a while.
This doesn't seem right. Rosie's cosmetics carefully arranged on the dressing table, her clothes in the closet, her shoes under the bed. It looks like she's taken a few hours off to go to the movies and will return any moment. She's not here in person, but her spirit is. As are the now disembodied souls of this ancient hotel who, down the years, have taken shelter in this room. And now another. Me. A stripling from across the Ganges has turned up to intrude. The May Thandashas are asking bitterly, "Who is it? Who are you? Why are you here?"
Shah Jahan Hotel. Bosch speaking. Of course we have a room for you, madam. Come straight over.
Who was that, Bosta?
It was a rather well-known lady who owns a house in a fashionable neighborhood right here in Calcutta with plenty of spare bedrooms.
Huh?
Yet she wants to spend the night here. Half of Calcutta would throng this hotel. If it got out, she was here.
Really?
Good evening, Shah Jahan Hotel. May I know your name, sir, please? I'm sorry, sir, we are full up.
Why did you tell him we are full up, Bosta? There are several...
Shankar, the woman arriving in a minute is none other than Srilekha Devi.
Srilekha Devi? The famous films?
Yes, the brightest star of the film world. She's had a row with her husband. Not for the first time. And she says he has threatened to throw acid on her face.
No.
Yes, the poor woman is terrified. The second call was from her husband.
I see.
So, Shankar, I'm now off duty. When Srilekha Devi arrives, give her the keys to suite number 1. And under no circumstances let her husband into the hotel. Understand?
Yes, of course.
Good. I will tell the doorman the same before I go up. See you in the morning.
Good evening. Mr. Bosch has reserved a room for me.
Yes, madam. Here.
Could you do something for me, please?
Of course, madam.
Can you get me a sari?
A sari, madam?
Yes.
At this hour?
Yes.
All the shops are closed.
I came out just as I was. I couldn't bring any clothes.
I will try, madam. Do call reception if there is anything else.
I will. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, madam. I only ever thought I would see Srilekha Devi on the silver screen. Now is my moment to contribute to screen history. Ashok. Hello, Shankar. I'm going to make you famous. I know it is late. Do you want to be famous or not? Get the key from your employer. Go to the shop and bring a sari to the Shah Jahan hotel. No, not in the morning, right away. I'll give you cash. I can't tell you, Ashok. All I can say is she is a lady who has worn many saris in her life. A lady whose saris have sparked off many fashion trends. A lady who will be very grateful for the sari you are going to bring to the Shah Jahan hotel in under half an hour and then spend the rest of your time on earth talking about it. I will tell you when you get here. Slight, about 5'4". Any color. Okay. Hello, reception.
This is Srilekha. What instructions do you have about me?
I'm not to tell anyone your room number, Srilekha Devi, and I'm to tell your husband to go back home if he shows up.
Has anyone come looking for me?
It's very late, madam. Nobody comes to the hotel at this hour.
Don't talk rubbish, man. Every single time I've left home in a rage, my husband has always shown up here. Go outside and check. I'll hold on.
Yes, madam. Would you keep an eye on the desk for me for a moment, please? Hey, doorman. Is there a man outside?
Yeah, him right there. A block of wood in an expensive suit. That's Srilekha Devi's husband.
Hello, sir. Are you looking for someone?
I'm not in your hotel. I'm standing quietly on the road. Just go away.
Very well, sir.
Hello, Srilekha Devi. It's Shankar at the reception desk. Yes, it would seem that there is a gentleman outside the hotel.
Send him to my room.
But...
No buts, please. Charge me for a double room.
All right, madam. Sorry. What's the desk again, please?
Sir, come inside, sir. Why are you standing here outside? Come.
That won't be necessary.
Sir, Srilekha Devi has asked you to come to her room, sir. I will take you inside. Come, please.
Look, if I can stand here this long, I can remain a little longer.
Right, sir.
Thank you again. Hello, reception. Shankar speaking.
Have you sent him up?
He refuses to come in, Srilekha Devi. Oh dear. I do wish Posta was here. He would know what to do.
Shankar, yes?
Yes, Shankar, Srilekha Devi.
I'm scared, Shankar. Please come with me to the door. My husband may have brought acid to throw on my face.
Is the first act of a sensational criminal case about to unfold before my very eyes? Sorry. Desk again, I'm afraid.
Stay here.
Well, all's well that ends well.
Oh! Goodness gracious me. She's left without settling the bill. They will deduct it from my salary. Oh. Posta, Srilekha Devi has checked out without settling.
Don't worry, Shankar. She'll send the check. She always does. See you in the morning.
Is it Shankar?
Ashok?
Here is the sari. Who is it?
It's me, Bosch, with a Mr. Byron for you.
Good morning, Shankar. Sorry for intruding without notice.
Oh, no. Good morning, Byron. Good morning.
I will leave you two together.
No, don't go. I got some bad news late last night, which is why I came immediately this morning.
What bad news, Byron?
My dear friend, Rosie is coming back. It seems she has had a little fling in Bombay with my client and is set on returning home.
Oh, dear.
Don't lose heart, Shankar. I'll go and see Marco Polo. But the problem is, what if no other post is available?
Don't worry. Leave Marco Polo to me. Come, Mr. Byron. We will go together.
Well, this could be the end of me at the Shah Jahan Hotel.
Shankar, if you have any thanks to give, Shankar, reserve them for Mr. Bose. It was he who explained to Marco Polo how badly he needs someone permanent help to man the reception counter.
You mean full-time reception duty?
Indeed.
But can I do it, Bosta? I mean, you're so well educated. You rattle off so many languages effortlessly. I can't speak any one of them.
Shankar, when I got my job, the advertisement they had put in the papers implied that they wanted someone who knew English like Shakespeare, Bengali like Tagore, and Hindi like Tulsidas. Salary, 75 rupees. And in response, they got me. I had all the qualifications, but a little mixed up. English like Tulsidas's, Bengali like Shakespeare's, and Hindi like Tagore's. But does that mean things have come to a standstill? Not at all. So forget all this nonsense and join me behind the counter.
Very well. Thank you so much, Bosta. And thank you, Byron.
Welcome.
A middle-aged woman, much of her face concealed behind huge dark glasses, is approaching. She's around 50, with a flowing magenta silk sari and a sleeveless blouse. It's Mrs. Pakrashi.
Is the suite ready, Bush?
I have made all the arrangements.
Is my friend here yet?
No, I'm afraid he isn't.
Ah, Mrs. Pakrashi. What a pleasant surprise.
Mr. Agarwal, fancy seeing you here.
Oh, I just popped in for a drink after office. But I had quite forgotten it was a dry day. You see, this silly rule makes no sense. The government is losing its own revenue, and at a time when we industrialists need money for expansion, for national development. But never mind me. What are you doing here at this hour?
I just came to find out something.
As I said, ma'am, the banquet room isn't free that evening. Perhaps you could postpone your meeting by a day?
What are you saying, man? Do you know who you're talking to? How can Mrs. Pakrashi not get the banquet hall when she wants it?
I'm sorry, Mr. Agarwal. I will see what can be done.
Shall we leave together then, Mrs. Pakrashi?
Since you have waited so long, ma'am, please wait a little longer. Our manager, Mr. Marco Polo, will be here any minute.
Well, I might as well wait a little longer. Why don't you go along home early, Mr. Agarwal? Never mind drinks for one evening.
Well, lovely to have seen you. Good night, Mrs. Pakrashi.
Good night, Mr. Agarwal.
Why don't you carry on to suite number 1, ma'am? I'm sure your friend will be here shortly.
What about signing off the register?
Don't worry about that, Mrs. Pakrashi. I will get your friend to sign.
Mrs. Pakrashi is moved to silence and gazes appreciatively at Bosch. Ah, here he comes.
Good evening to you.
Yes, good evening, sir. Just sign here, please.
Could you arrange for some drinks to be brought up?
I'm sorry, sir. Today is a dry day, and we cannot break excise rules.
What a shame. Never mind.
Surely Mrs. Pakrashi needn't have made an appointment on a dry day.
Shankar, you novice. She chooses dry days deliberately. On these days, very few people pass through. It's the safest day for the assignation.
I see. And who was that awful man earlier?
Mr. Agarwal, Mrs. Pakrashi's deadly business rival.
No. Room number 213, eggs boiled for 3.5 minutes, no soldiers. Room number 312, eggs scrambled, toast and kejri. And room number 345, only aloo chapati. Not brown bread and marmalade. Got it? Good morning, ma'am. Mrs. Pakrashi, up very early.
Give this to Bosch. See, he gets it.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Shankar. Was that Mrs. Pakrashi I saw disappearing?
Yes, Posta. Somewhat hastily. She left this for you.
20 rupees for not putting her name in the register.
We have had a delivery of a bouquet of flowers for Korobi Guho.
Take it up to suite number 2, first floor.
No, stop. Give them to me. I'm on my way up there.
This is Nittohori Bhattacharjee, emperor of all of Shah Jahan hotels, sheets, curtains and table linen, and a devotee of Korobi Guho.
Roses. Korobi will love them. She loves roses.
Suite number 2 is let on a permanent lease to Mr. Agarwal, the industrialist and business rival of widow Pakrashi. He was here yesterday evening, remember? Agarwal retains suite number 2 for entertaining business guests. And Korobi Guho is his hostess.
Reception. Bosch speaking. Yes, sir. I will send someone right away. That was Mrs. Pakrashi's English friend in suite number 1. He has a complaint. Shankar, go and find out what it's all about.
Right away, Posta.
Good morning, sir. I understand you have a complaint.
Yes, my companion. Indeed, both of us tossed and turned all night because there weren't enough pillows. Just one pillow in a suite like this is not sufficient. I was going to complain last night, but she prevented me.
Extremely sorry, sir. We would have arranged for pillows at once if you had only let us know. I'll get them sent immediately, sir.
It's too late now. My companion left earlier, and I'm about to leave too. Don't let it happen again. Understand?
Very well, sir.
Shankar, what was his complaint?
There were not enough pillows in the room, Posta. They had an uncomfortable night.
So he says.
Get Nitto to investigate the pillow situation in the room, huh?
85, 86, 87, 88.
You have to see this to believe it.
90,
Nittohori is seated amidst mountain of linen, a pair of spectacles perched on his nose, washed linen is piled high on one side, and soiled linen on the floor. Nitto!
Just a minute. Just when I can't account for 22 towels, you have to have a word with me. Try to understand my predicament. If I have to buy 22 towels with my own money, they will have to sell me to raise the cash.
Nitto, there has been a complaint.
Complaint? Against me? Who has the audacity to criticize me? I have spent 40 years in this hotel. I have kept track of all the bedclothes and pillows. No one knows linen like I do. And now someone dares complain?
There were not enough pillows in suite number 1 last night.
Mrs. Pakrashi will wager. Nittohori Bhattacharjee is not quite in his dotage yet. He cannot be accused of not putting enough pillows in the special suite. Come. We will take a look. Come.
See, Nitto. Only one pillow.
Impossible. They must have been doing it on the floor and kicked it under the bed. Just a minute. See? It's there. See, I told you, it's there. And what's this? Oh my
Look at this.
Nittohori is holding a pillow in one hand and an envelope of photographs in the other.
Oh my word! Modesty forbids full description of the collection. But suffice to say, one is a photograph of Mrs. Pakrashi. Well, naked and sitting in a most immodest manner.
Pretend you have never seen this, Shankar.
Fear not. I will banish the vision from my mind.
Actually, I couldn't. They left a lasting impression. You know, what test match is to cricket, banquet is to hotel, and whenever big banquet is scheduled at the Shah Jahan, Marco Polo increases the frequency of his rounds. As you can hear, we are in the kitchen.
This is a very important banquet, everyone. The prestige of our poor country depends on this event. Chair, we must have a banquet the likes of which has never been seen in Calcutta.
Well, as my old master, Monsieur Bordeaux, who was trained by the great Escoffier himself, would say, to cook is to search for God. You can't have a banquet with less than 7 courses.
What? Dear chef, the guests will be discussing poverty and how to feed the poor. It has to be a plain and simple dinner.
So, what do you have in mind?
About 15 rupees per head.
Very well. I will do just cold mutton and bread.
Now, what about the waiters, boss?
We will need at least an extra 20, sir.
Well, then have 40 uniforms and 40 pairs of gloves ready, boss.
Should we add turbans, sir? If well-known people are coming, maybe the governor?
I suppose so. One can never tell. And keep an eye on the cutlery. I am going to count everything. If anything is lost, it will be deducted from your wages. So, get on with it, everyone. I want to see the best banquet Calcutta has ever seen.
As you can hear, there are a large number of guests arriving for the banquet. Marco Polo stands in the hall in a freshly ironed sharkskin suit. He seems ill at ease.
Straighten your bow tie, Shankar. You have to be the epitome of style on nights like this.
Who are all these people, Boshta?
Oh, the same old crowd. All the usual suspects. All parties in Calcutta have the same guests. Everyone uses the same list of names to mail the invitations. The same people are invited day in, day out. And every night they all dress up and set out to yet another party with each other. There she is, Calcutta's favorite widow, Mrs. Pakrashi.
Mrs. Pakrashi is making a beeline for her counter. She's looking resplendent in traditional Bengali sari and more than 1 or 2 bracelets and...
Good evening, Bosh. Before this bash begins, I need to know if I can book the suite for next week.
Yes, madam. Same arrangements as usual?
No. Pakrashi Industries has an important visitor from Germany coming next week. I must have the best for him. A very important contract is at stake.
Of course, Mrs. Pakrashi. Check the register, Shankar.
There are no suites available. I'm afraid the Foreign Cultural Mission have booked all the suites 2 months in advance.
This is disgraceful. You must be able to do something. I simply must have a suite.
I'm afraid nothing is available.
Whatever shall I do then?
Whatever is the matter? Dear Mrs. Pakrashi, what's the matter?
Mr. Agarwal, good evening. I am trying to reserve a suite for an important guest next week. But apparently, unless you book 2 months in advance, you won't even get a cot in the corridor.
Agarwal Industries has a permanent suite here. Please, regard it as yours.
Well, I don't know what to say. Well, thank you, Mr. Agarwal. I'm most grateful.
Bosh, tell Korabi at once that Mrs. Pakrashi will be taking our suite.
I have been deprived of the rare gift that God has given some people, of being able to tell a lady's age from one look at her. I get by with 2 words, young and old. Korobi isn't very old. I can say with some assurance that her young body doesn't give a damn about age. With her lovely eyes, sharp nose, smooth neck and level shoulders, she resembles a work of art.
Now, Korobi, a very important guest of Mrs. Pakrashi will be staying in suite number 2 next week. I want you to do all you can to make him comfortable. Understand?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Good. Now, Mrs. Pakrashi, let me escort you into the banquet. Do tell me about your guest.
Hair writer from Germany. A friend of my son Onindo. Onindo is arriving tomorrow.
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, that's that organized. It sounds as if the speeches have started, Korobi. Let's go and see what's going on.
What's the banquet in aid of Bush?
World poverty and how to solve it.
9, 7, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Calcutta's illustrious citizens.
Good Lord. So that's what he's doing here. No wonder I had to give him the royal treatment this afternoon.
All these days, we have been thinking only of our nation. But now, the time has come to think of man in a wider context. The main problem of the world is that of food, particularly rice, ladies and gentlemen. The amount of rice produced in the world is not enough to provide a square meal for every person in it.
Agarwal reserved the suite for the chief guest tonight. But he said it wouldn't look good for him to spend the night here. But he had no objection to a few hours rest this afternoon.
And all of us here in India,
I hate this job, Shankar.
country of Buddha,
The things I have to do for these businessmen makes me want to throw up.
I know.
In independent India, it's as if the earth revolves round the sun, thanks only to the contracts, contractors, purchase officers, accounts officers. Men who don't know how to use knife and fork. Men who slurp their soup. Men who belch loudly after their meals and have dal all down their polyester shirts. They make me sick.
The implication of the royal treatment for the respected guest is not difficult to gauge from Korobi's forlorn, resigned expression.
Korobi, just a moment.
Agarwal, a bit drunk already.
Korobi, I want you to find out all you can about Mrs. Pakrashi's German guest. Friend of her son indeed. Poppycock. Everything. Understand?
Yes, Mr. Agarwal. Of course.
A young man in a multicolored t-shirt and charcoal grey trousers and a hint of wetness behind the ears has just come in.
Good morning. I'm Onindo Pakrashi. I've come to see Miss Korobi Guha.
Good morning, sir. Suite number 2, first floor.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Mr. Pakrashi, please, do come in.
My word. What a wonderful suite. And so large.
Yes, sir. I trust your mother's guest will be comfortable here.
I'm sure he will be. But really, he is my guest. The person who's coming owns a huge factory in Germany, and we are negotiating with him to secure a very important contract, and my mother has put all the responsibility on me. If the slightest thing goes wrong, I will be blamed. You'll have to make sure I don't lose face. So much depends on it.
I'll do all that I can to ensure the right outcome for you, sir. I can see that you're an experienced businessman.
Me? A businessman? Indeed not. Just the opposite, in fact. I just hope I can get through the next few days.
I'll do all that I can to help.
Well, I must go. Her writer's plane arrives in a couple of hours. I'll see you again when I return with our guest. Till then.
Well. And what's flying into my nest?
Korobi? Korobi, hello. Are you there?
Hello, Nitto. I thought you had changed the linen already.
I couldn't help notice you have had a visitor.
Yes, indeed. Anindo Pakrashi.
A Pakrashi in Mr. Agarwal's private suite. Is that wise? I bid you be careful, my dear.
Why, Nitto? He's charm itself. And Mr. Agarwal has given the Pakrashis the suite.
I have worked in this hotel for 40 years, Korobi. And I know the scent of trouble. Take this envelope. No, don't open it until you are alone. You will understand then why I say this. Keep it safe until you need it. I only have your welfare at heart, my dear.
I'm standing by the door of the hotel with Korobi. A huge Chrysler motor car belonging to Pakrashi Industries has just pulled up from Domnum Airport with Anindo Pakrashi and his important German guest, Dr. Reiter. Korobi and I are waiting to greet them. The beautiful Korobi is wearing a Murshidabad silk sari. Her hair is bedecked with flowers. She looks radiant.
Sir, welcome to Shah Jahan Hotel. May I escort you to your suite?
Jawohl, bitteschön.
This way, sir. Please arrange for these cases to be sent up right away.
Of course, Mr. Pakrashi. Right away. Hey, জিনিসগুলো নিয়ে এসো তাড়াতাড়ি।
জি স্যার।
So, Herr Reiter, I trust you will enjoy your stay in suite number 2. If there is anything you require, just ask Miss Korobi.
Well, you know, I'm not very accustomed to the heat of India. Could I have a glass of beer, bitte?
I'm extremely sorry, Herr Reiter. You've arrived on a bad day. One day every week, selling liquor is prohibited in our state.
Why, I've never heard of such a thing. And you mean to tell me that your country is going to start an industrial revolution in this manner? With leftover ideas from the last century?
Perhaps I could offer you a traditional drink, sir. A dab, coconut juice in its shell.
Let me try.
It's quite difficult.
Let me try. We Germans enjoy a good challenge.
Yes, sir. Give me your jacket. I'll have it sponged down. And please use a straw.
Thank you. And forgive me getting upset over such a trifling matter. But perhaps I should take a short nap. It was a long flight.
Really, Korobi. Well done. You're one of a kind. My relationship with Reiter would have soured right at the beginning. But you miraculously saved the situation.
It was nothing. I'm a hostess. It's what I'm trained to do.
Well, thank you. I suspect he will be out for the count for a while now. Let's go and have a spot of lunch.
I think I should tell you that Agarwal has come to the hotel and has been hovering around all morning, seemingly with no specific purpose. He's only succeeding in looking a bit suspicious. What's he up to, I wonder?
You know, Miss Korobi, I think I could get used to the life of a businessman.
Mr. Pakrashi. Korobi, tell me, is Mr. Pakrashi's important guest settling in well in my suite?
Yes, Mr. Agarwal, very well. As we couldn't provide him with an alcoholic drink on this dry day, he's taking a nap. He seems happy enough.
See you later, Mr. Agarwal.
Yes, indeed.
What next, I wonder?
Phone. Give me the phone, man, quick. Hello? Is that you, hair writer? You don't know me. I am Mr. Agarwal, a very good friend of Mr. Pakrashi. I understand a proper drink wouldn't go amiss. Well, meet me at the reception right away and I'll take you to a place where one can always get a drink. Dry day or no dry day.
Good. So that's his game.
Corabi, may I compliment you again on the way you handled that sticky moment?
Enough, Anindo.
Well, there's something else I would like to ask you.
Please do ask.
My mother says I have to speak to the press to announce the visit of hair writer, and I have absolutely no idea how to go about that. What should I do?
Leave it to me. I've done many press launches for Agarwal. Right, gentlemen, take this down. Mr. Pakrashi is one of Calcutta's most enterprising young industrialists. He loves Bengal, and the future of our country depends to a great extent on this collaboration between Indian and German industries. Anindo Pakrashi hopes to set up a new factory for manufacturing electrical equipment, which will provide jobs for lots of unemployed young people. All those unemployed youngsters whose woes you write about in your papers.
Good morning, Mother. Have you seen the papers today?
I have indeed. Well done, Anindo. You've learnt well what I have taught you.
Oh, it wasn't really me. It was all due to Miss Corabi.
Corabi? Agarwal's hostess?
You know, Mother, she's a very nice girl. I haven't known her very long, but she's so diplomatic and resourceful.
Anindo, you can praise Mr. Agarwal's hostess later. Off you go. You will be late for your tour of the city with our guest.
Very well, Mother.
Very nice girl indeed. Not if I have my way.
Corabi, I don't know how to thank you. My mother is delighted with the press coverage. I told her that it was all due to you. Here. These are for you.
Come in quickly, Anindo. There's something I have to tell you. I have just had a visit from Agarwal. He's furious at the coverage in the papers. Apparently, yesterday he took Hey Writer off to a drinking den whilst we were having lunch. No doubt he tried to influence him not to sign the contract with you.
What's going on, Corabi?
Agarwal told me that I must spy on Hey Writer's every move and report back to him if I want to keep my job. I can't afford to lose my job, Anindo. I only do this to support my family in my village. He mustn't know I helped you with the reporters.
I'll see to it. Don't worry. I would want no misfortune to come to you. I'm just off to take a writer on a tour of the city when I hope to finally persuade him to sign the contract. And then all will be done and dusted.
Anindo.
Mr. Pakrashi, please, one smile, please. Mr. Pakrashi, one photograph.
So, my dear Corabi, a successful conclusion. The contract signed and all due to you. Without your guidance and advice, we would have lost the contract to Agarwal.
I do trust he will never find out.
It'll be our secret forever. I assure you. But I hope I won't have to keep another secret much longer.
Why are you saying this, Anindo? I'm just an ordinary girl.
Well, you're not ordinary. You're extraordinary.
But you should think one more time before going any further.
I do not need to think anymore. If there is a way for us to be happy together, I think we should try and find it. Kaurabi?
Anandu.
Anindu,
Yes, ma?
I have something important to discuss with you.
With me?
Yes. I have been hearing some things about you since the last few days. Initially, I didn't give too much importance to it. But now, it has taken such a turn that I can't keep quiet any longer. Such shame. I'm thoroughly ashamed about it.
But mother, I haven't done anything which can make you feel ashamed of me.
So you don't think that flirting with that cheap woman Kaurabi is a shameless act?
Mother, I've been wanting to say something to you for a few days now, but I couldn't tell you. But now as you have raised the matter, let me tell you clearly that I'm not flirting with Kaurabi. I'm in love with her.
In love with her? You love a cheap call girl.
Before calling her cheap, have you ever thought of understanding what kind of woman she really is?
I don't have the slightest intention of understanding her. What she does is explanation enough.
No, that's not enough. She does what she does because of the family burden on her. She's having to bring up her younger siblings in her village. That doesn't make her a bad woman, Ma.
No, I'm ashamed of your taste.
I do not expect words like these from you, Mother.
I have heard enough. Now you listen to one thing very clearly. That woman will not enter my house at any cost. I will not tolerate that. If you abide by me, then fine. Otherwise, you will be thrown out of this family and you will not inherit a penny piece from Pakrashi Industries.
Very well, Mother. Now you listen to one thing very clearly too. Today, no sacrifice is too great for my Kaurabi. What my heart says is true and good, and I must listen to my heart.
I should tell you that like her son yesterday, Mrs. Pakrashi has just swept into the hotel and without stopping at the desk has gone straight up to suite number 2.
I am Mrs. Pakrashi, Anindo's mother. I want you to know that I will not tolerate your association with my son. Do you hear? Anindo is young and innocent. He doesn't understand the ways of the world, but you certainly do. Shame on you. Now tell me, what is your price to spare my son?
My price?
Yes, your price. And just because I have come to you, don't increase your rate, huh? Otherwise, I will tell Agarwal what you have been doing and he will throw you out of this place. And if necessary, I can go further and bring harm to you. And one thing more. Anindo must not hear of this visit. I'll give you 24 hours for your response. I trust you will be able to see sense in that time.
Night duty can be a long haul. Boss went off duty an hour ago and now I'm alone at the counter. Like the quiet, obedient, well-behaved children of Kolkata, Shah Jahan Hotel too is asleep. But somewhere in the city is Marco Polo. Where is he? Has he fallen into the clutches of the police for drinking on a dry day? I wonder.
Get out of my way, all of you.
What's going on, Amlan?
Get out
Marco
of my
Polo
way.
is just turned up. Look at the state of him.
Whatever I want in my hotel. And why are you all looking at me like that? Useless. Completely useless.
The poor man. His life is dark as night.
And after a dark night is to come an even darker day.
So, Miss Kaurabi Guho, time is up. I trust you have seen sense. How much does it cost to leave my son alone?
Mrs. Pakrashi, I plead with you. Can't you see this as a woman and a mother?
Only too well. You have taken advantage of an innocent boy who happens to be heir to Pakrashi Industries.
You have taken him into your life and into your bed. And now you are blackmailing him.
Blackmail? No, never. Why do you say these things? You are taking advantage of me and my situation. It's true that I work as a hostess, but only to support my family and bring up my young sisters. But I swear to God that my feelings are true for Anindo. My love is not fake.
Love? Love? How can a prostitute like you talk of love?
Prostitute like me? Right. You hypocrite. Look at these photographs, Mrs. Pakrashi. Look, you with your sari around your waist in suite number 1. You naked on the bed. And look, just look at what you are doing in this one, Mrs. Pakrashi. See? And you call me a prostitute. Where did you get them? Tell me. They were found in an envelope under the bed of suite number 1. Your favorite dry day haunt. I think your English boyfriend has been most careless. I would have a word with him, Mrs. Pakrashi.
Give them to me.
Oh no, Mrs. Pakrashi. If I show these photographs to your son,
no,
or to the staff of the hotel, what will become of you in the eyes of the world? It's better they stay with one person rather than do the rounds. Don't you think?
Well, I will agree to all you are saying. I won't create any hindrance. You can marry Anindo, but I have one request. Please, burn those photographs. Please.
If someone loves me, and I love him, what's wrong with marrying? Why should we care what people say? They'll condemn it. They'll mock us. The prince of the Pakrashi Empire has married Agarwal's hostess. They'll laugh. But how can I marry a person like Anindo by blackmailing his mother and taking advantage of her weakness? Anindo's mother is my elder. No, I can't take such an immoral path into Anindo's life. It is sinful and will bring harm upon him and us.
Shankar, come.
What is it, Nitto?
Suite number 2. Korobi, come quickly, Shankar.
Nitto and I have just entered suite number 2.
Shankar, she's dead. Korobi is dead. Oh, my dear girl. Shankar, whatever has happened.
The beautiful Korobi is lying on a bed, her hands crossed over her breasts at repose. On the floor is a bottle of sleeping pills and a small pile of ashes, the remains of the photographs. The room has now filled up with hotel employees, but the silence is terrible. Anindo has just arrived with a bunch of flowers and is laying them on the dead Korobi. He looks everyone in the eye and departs without a word. Oh, this looks like Byron the detective approaching. I could really do without seeing him today. We are all devastated by Korobi's untimely death.
Hello, Shankar. A breakthrough. I was told yesterday of a woman who once used to sing in a nightclub on Park Street, who now lives in Chatawala Lane. Marco Polo and I went to see if we could find her. But no luck.
Chatawala Lane, you say?
Yes.
I know Chatawala Lane. I was selling waste paper baskets. And the women of Chatawala Lane were selling something much closer to home. But they were good and always kind to me.
Do you keep track of them anymore?
But there's not a woman in Chatawala Lane I don't know, Byron.
I see. Well, this is God's will, Shankar. Please make some inquiries for me.
So with sadness in my heart, I went to Chatawala Lane.
Hey, Babu. Hobe naki? Chal.
Hey, 2 টাকায় full masti.
ভদ্রলোক gentleman. Hey Shankar, you won a lottery, huh?
No. I'm working at the Shahjahan Hotel.
So, what are you doing around here then?
I'm looking for someone. Does anyone know a Susan Munro? She used to be a singer in Park Street.
Oh, Susan Munro. We haven't heard of anyone by that name. Hey, what about Elizabeth? And she says she used to sing there once, na? Oh.
Elizabeth? Where is she?
She's ill. She's in bed. I'll take you. Come.
Hello, young Shankar.
Yes.
What brings you back here again?
Suddenly I understand everything. Elizabeth is Lisa, the singer Susan had replaced. It's distressing to see the state she's in now.
I fell down a long time ago and broke a bone. I couldn't afford to see a good doctor and the bone was set awkwardly. Now I'm paying the price. But the younger girls have kindly allowed me to stay. And if an undemanding customer turns up, they send him to me. I do my best.
Do you know a Susan Munro?
I should think so. Susan Monroe, who started singing instead of me on a 10 rupee salary? Of course I know her.
Do you know where she's living now?
Illinois, USA.
Oh.
You could do anything with money those days. Those American soldiers could get just about anything by paying for it. How else could that Major Shannon have transformed a woman of ill repute like her into a virgin and taken her to Illinois with him? He wanted to get the wedding over and done with here, but he didn't dare. In the eyes of the law, she was married. But who was going to know that in Illinois? In any case, who knows what name Susan Monroe's taken on now?
I'm tempted to reveal everything, but I think I will resist the temptation. Byron is waiting for me to report back.
I told you, Shankar, I told you. It's God's will. How could it all turn out this way otherwise, tell me? Why should you have got a job at Shahjahan? And why should you have been working at Chatawala Lane before that? It's fate, Shankar, fate. I'll go and tell Marco Polo the news immediately.
And I expect he will claim all the credit. Just you wait and see. They will come straight down again in a minute and leave the hotel together.
Chatawala Lane.
Really?
Yes, and I thought all the time that she might be there. And Shankar has just confirmed it. Happy day.
You see?
Ah, Shankar, dear boy. Do come in. Sit down. You know, I can't convey my gratitude enough for what you have done. Without you, I would never have found Lisa. Tell me, how long have you known her?
Before joining the hotel, sir, I had to go to Chatawala Lane every day to buy the baskets I used to sell. I got to know all the girls who worked there.
You know, Lisa's very fond of you. And I took her to the doctor today. She had her leg x-rayed. The doctor says it will be all right. Well, Lisa wanted me to tell you. Her health may have deteriorated. But did you see her eyes? Oh, they shine like diamonds.
Good morning, Shankar.
Morning, Posta.
Byron telephoned earlier. He wants to meet you. It seemed very important.
Right.
Shankar, I can sense major changes round the corner.
It will be public knowledge tomorrow, Shankar. But you should know beforehand. If only you could see how Marco Polo cares for Lisa. He's in love with her. Who knows what they see in each other. But they have decided to live together. And there's something else which will affect you all. Marco Polo is leaving the Shah Jahan. He has got a job in the Gold Coast in Africa as manager of an insignificant hotel in an insignificant town. And the ever unfortunate Marco Polo and the lifelong sufferer Lisa intend to spend the remaining days together.
How things change.
And there is more. It has all worked out well for me too.
What do you mean, Byron?
Because I had taken money from Marco Polo, I could not make a move all this time. But now that my responsibility has been discharged, nothing prevents me from taking my leave. There's no hope of being appreciated here in Calcutta. People are willing to admire private detectives in novels and films, but no one really wants them in real life. But it is not that way in Australia. Private detectives have plenty of opportunities there. I can get a salaried job at a detective agency. In fact, I have been offered one. So I'm sailing on the strength of that offer.
Chef! Thank you for your wonderful cooking.
We are all standing in a line in front of the hotel. In his white shorts and shirt, Marco Polo looks like the captain of a ship. He's shaking hands with everybody.
Well, keep the flag flying high, everyone. If I'm ever back in Shah Jahan, I want to see the hotel improved beyond recognition. Well then, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
All the best, sir.
Thank you.
Safe journey, sir.
Lisa, come on.
Thank you. Come.
Sir, you called.
Ah, Shankar.
Yes, sir.
Starting tomorrow, we don't need your services anymore.
Sir?
Yeah. I have decided that from now on, there will only be girls at the counter. I see in your files that Marco Polo gave you a purely temporary appointment, which means that you are not entitled to a month's salary.
Oh.
But I don't believe in taking undue advantage of existing regulations, So, you're being given a month's pay. Here, I wish you success in life.
Hello? Shah Jahan Hotel? Rosie, head receptionist speaking. Yes, certainly. Oh, Shankar, I'm so sorry. Believe me, I tried to talk Agarwal out of it when I was in there typing. I pleaded with him, but his mind was made up. This is Rita. She's the new girl behind the counter.
Hello, Rita. What could you have done, Rosie? Thanks all the same. But I knew all along you would outlast me. So, farewell then. Farewell, Rosie. Farewell, reception. Farewell, Shah Jahan Hotel. Hello, Chowringhee. All the city is asleep. Only the neon lights of Shah Jahan keeps blinking, mocking a sacked and broken employee. Whatever I had is gone. But the countless stars in the sky give me hope, give me strength. Generous and infinite, time stretches before me. And as I look back, the tireless lights of Shah Jahan are still blinking. Well, ever onwards.
In Chowringhee, the part of Shankar was played by Joy Sengupta, Bosch by Sagnik Mukherjee, Byron by Rajib Roy, and Mrs. Pakrashi by Senjuti Mukherjee. Nilanjana Dasgupta was Susan, Simanti Sen, Mrs. Byron, Sohini Mukherjee, Korobi, and Sataf Figar, Agarwal. Nittohori was Jyoti Sen. The bearer, Amlan Chakraborty. Lisa, Suktara Lal, and Marco Polo, Sujoy Prasad Chatterjee and Pradip Mitra. Abanti Chakraborty was Srilekha, Shadab Kamal, Anindo Pakrashi, James Tucker, writer, and Raju Raman, the chief guest. The production was recorded on location in Calcutta. The line producer was Abanti Chakraborty. The sound recordist, Ross Adams. It was directed by Willie Richards. Chowringhee was an art and adventure production for the BBC. The producer was Roger James Elsgood.